Hello everyone and welcome to Corsa Auto. In this video we're gonna demo to you on how to replace the variable valve timing solenoid on the exhaust. And the code that we're getting is a random cylinder misfire p0014, p0014, p0017. So we're gonna focus on one of the variable valve solenoids for the exhaust and see if that will fix everything. The first thing you want to do is go in and pull one of the coils out, and you want to take a look at the spark plug, see the condition. Second thing, you just want to check the air filter, make sure it's not clogged up, which I already did. Filter looks okay, was a little bit dirty. I blew all the stuff off of it temporary. Plug looks good, so I put it back. The oil was low, and we pretty much changed the oil because it needed an oil change. Now these are all the preliminary things that you have to check before you go deeper into other stuff. So after we changed the oil, did all that service, we ran the vehicle and it seemed like it was still having the issue. So we're gonna go ahead and change that one sensor. Now you do have three sensors. One is for the intake, one is for the exhaust, and one is for the camshaft locking solenoid. So the really bottom one is the exhaust, the variable valve solenoid for the exhaust. The one above it is for the intake valve solenoid, and the one on top of it is for the locking solenoid. It's a very good idea to replace all three of them. Now if you're on a budget and you can't afford it, then you might get away with one for now. Now we're gonna lift the vehicle up for you and show you from the bottom. You have to take certain stuff out to replace it, like looking at the engine mount and all these things you gotta pull out. But the sensor we want to do, I'm gonna show you the very fastest way to take it out. Now this is the bottom of the vehicle, and we're looking at the sensors. They're one on top of the other. If you see one of the sensors, it's missing, and that's the lowest one. There's one above it, and then there's one even above that one. And if you can see right there. So anyhow, the bottom one is for the exhaust. Now if you want to save time, if you look here, this is the sensor here that I pulled out. You can see it's really rusted. Usually when they rust, because it's a solenoid, they're not able to move open or close, so they get stuck in certain positions, either open or close. So now to take this out, like I said, you gotta hold it and twist it, pull it out, and then that's my long extension. Look at it, beautiful. And you want the head to move around so that you don't damage the bolt or ruin the threads. So that's exactly what I use without taking the wheel or anything off, and I was able to get it off. So now I'm gonna throw back the sensor and then run the vehicle, see how it runs. If everything's okay, then hey, we save the customer a few bucks by replacing one. They do have to replace the other two, but because they're low on cash, they just want to do one. So we definitely don't want to push them to replace all three, even though that's the right way of doing it. But let's see how it goes. So this is the fastest way of getting that sensor out, guys. You don't need to take the mount out, the wheel out, the inner cover out, the fender liner, the oil filter cover, but straightforward. Just follow these steps. Pull the sensor out and put the new one in, push it back in, make sure you lube the seals, and put the 10mm bolt on with your hands. Make sure you start it off first, and then you tighten up with your ratchet. So here's another trick that I did. A 12-volt wire from the battery charger, I connected it to the negative and positive of the terminals on the sensor, and I looked at the solenoid, so nothing was moving, which means that it's seized up because of the rust buildup. So when you take it out, you can easily connect the negative and positive and see if there's any movement of the solenoid to verify completely if the solenoid is 100% bad, or at least you'll know you're changing the right one if it's not working or working. Alright, here's the new solenoid. It's not a Dorman, it's a blue streak, which is pretty good, I would say. Of course, one from the dealer is a lot better. It's more money too, so it depends on how much the customer wants to spend. So this one is a mid-range one, and I've put it in vehicles before. I didn't have any issues, so we're gonna put this in based on the customer's choice and see how things go. Now, before I put the sensor in, I'm gonna test it out. I've connected my wiring to it, and I'm gonna show you a good sensor, what it should be doing. If you look in there, when I activate it, you see what happens? There you go. So we know this sensor is good. The previous one was not doing that, and for sure that sensor, the solenoid, was not working. So I'm glad that we checked this one out. And again, you hook up negative and positive, see if it moves. If you put on the vise, do not squeeze it, because then you'll damage it just slightly, or put it down somewhere so you don't damage the solenoid. But we're all set to go. We're gonna throw this in and see how the car runs. Now, to install the sensor, I don't have the pigtail connected, but I just grabbed the solenoid and I reached up and I try to find the hole, stick it in there, line up the hole for the bolt to go in, and then after I tighten it, I will connect my connector onto the solenoid. How I started my 10mm bolt with the long extension, lined it up, tightened it up. Now it's all good to go. We're gonna go ahead and tighten it up. There, it's nice and tight. Alright, I got that connector in there too. As you can see, just reached my arm all the ways up, twisted it till I lined it up and made sure that it locks in. Okay, I brought the vehicle down. I took a look at everything else, make sure no other sensors, stuff are disconnected. We were checking a lot of stuff. So we're gonna get in the car now and start it up, see how it runs, and see if we fixed all the issues, the 3 codes with replacing one sensor right at the bottom one. Mainly for the p0017, I would say 14, both of them. Okay, here we go. So it's a push start. Now I'm about to start it. Before it was running rough. Let's see how it runs now. Wow, amazing. Runs beautiful, nice and smooth, idle, steady. Before it was going up and down and it was shutting off. And now I'm gonna put it in reverse. Absolutely nothing. Put it in drive. Very smooth. Not even the engine light is there. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the fastest way to replace the sensor. If you're getting those 3 codes, make sure you change the lower one first. That will get rid of all your issues before you do anything else. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. If it helped you, make sure you give us thumbs up. We appreciate it. And that way we can post more videos for you.